Liam, thank you for joining the Zoom. Is there a way, could you tell us a bit about your background? You know, you were working, I suppose, not that long ago. You were earning an income. Things were good for you. Could you tell us what started to go wrong for you that led to what happened at the weekend?
Well, a few things really. I mean, it started off really with a mental health crisis. I had a bit of a nasty breakup. My granddad died a few weeks before, and that led to me needing to take time off for the funeral and things. My employer at the time wasn't exactly very forthcoming with that, and told me that I didn't give him enough notice for the funeral. So, as any decent human being would, I attended the funeral. I chose the funeral over attending work, which because I was in my probationary period, I'd been there for a few months, got me sacked. So within the space of 2 weeks, I'd lost my grandfather, my long-term partner of a few years, and my job. So that sent me on a bit of a downward spiral where I actually attempted to end my life. I won't go into the details of that too much here, but I ended up getting sectioned and receiving treatment in a hospital in Doncaster. And after that, I was in there for a while, so that put me behind on rent there. Obviously, when I came out, I had difficulties getting universal credit. There was the 6-week wait. My community psychiatric nurse as well has also told me that I should definitely qualify for PIP and the disability element. But as of yet, I've had no appointments for either of those for the assessments, despite applying for both in, you know, late August, early September. So it's been a long, hard road, especially with the cost of living crisis, the how expensive gas is, electric is, just trying to keep the lights on and the house warm is difficult enough. And after you've done that and you've paid your bills, you're left with nothing, which I'm sure a lot of people are in the same boat. So it became a choice very quickly between eating or heating, and it just quickly became that. And then obviously there was just no money left at the end to keep up with the rent. It wasn't a case of, you know, I wasn't budgeting well, or I wasn't managing to control my finances or anything like that, like universal credit kept trying to make out it was. It's just that there simply wasn't enough to pay everything. And I know I'm not alone in that. I've spoken to many people who are in the same boat. So it's just been a very rough couple of months, and it ended up in this situation where I've got a notice to leave on January 3rd, and I'm in a very desperate situation to try and find accommodation and housing elsewhere.
And I mean, so at the weekend, you got to the point where you had no food and no heating, and you were in arrears. So I'm imagining that for some time you were prioritizing food and heating in order to keep going and not paying your rent because you didn't have enough. You couldn't give more money back from that because of you're needing to keep alive with the heating and the eating. So one had to go, one had to give. It was the rent. Then you got in trouble with the landlord, and then you found you didn't have any money for heating or eating either. So what was your state of mind? I mean, what was it like to be? I mean, you've been sectioned. You've attempted suicide. You come out. It sounds like there's not much support for you there either.
In regards to help, it's not so much that the help isn't there. It's just that referrals are taking way too long. Benefits claims are taking way too long, especially in regards to disability benefits. And even something as simple as trying to get a food bank can be quite difficult based on where you are, because my CPN, they're based in Scunthorpe, so they referred me to one in Scunthorpe. I attended on the day, gave my address. They said they couldn't cover me. So then I got sent to Immingham, which is just that 5 minutes away, 5-minute drive, and they didn't cover me. And in the end, I had to quite literally bite my tongue and use the Salvation Army, who I do have issues with for many reasons, which I'm sure people are aware of. But it was a case of sticking to my morals and my beliefs, or starving at the end of the day. And so at the end, the choice was a simple one, but that didn't help me put gas on the meter. Even right now, I have no gas on the meter, because while I got some help from a lady earlier in the week, it mostly went on covering arrears on the meter because of the standing charges being so ridiculously high at the present time.
What?
So
Can you tell us about that? How much is that on the charges?
So from what I understand, they're about £1.20 a day standing charge on the prepayment meters right now.
You have to pay 120 before you can have any energy at all.
It's £1.20 a day standing charge. What they claim is that the charge on the prepayment meter is to cover the cost of getting gas to the property. And so even if your gas meter, if you've got no gas on it, so even if you're not getting gas into the property because there's no money on the meter, you still are charged those standing charges. So if you go a period of time of say a month with no heating, by the time you top up, you can be £40–50 in debt on the meter, which you then have to pay off before gas we put on the meter. So
every day you don't use it, you're being charged anyway.
Yes, that's correct.
Jesus Christ. How are you feeling now?
Well, at the present time, because I've had a lot of support and a lot of solidarity, my mental health has improved. Now, I'm not gonna lie and say I'm 100% that I'm great. I'm still suffering from depression and anxiety. I mean, I'm in a very stressful situation. I think anyone would be suffering with those emotions right now. We're all human at the end of the day, but yeah, I'm in a much better place presently. But last week, Saturday, I was very close to just giving up, just to trying to, making an attempt on my life again. And it's quite the hardest part is actually asking for help, because at times you feel like going to a food bank or going for help, or going to a asking for help with money, or asking for friends or family. It's embarrassing. Well, I'd go further than embarrassing. It's genuinely depressing. You feel worthless. You feel like you can't look after yourself. You feel like you should be doing better for yourself, which doesn't affect my mental state well at all.
No, I mean, so you'd already had a bad experience with all those things happening to you that led you to a breakdown. You came out, and then you find that you're unable to pay the bills, keep yourself warm and fed, and then you feel demoralized by the whole situation you're in. It would feel quite natural that you would be depressed in that situation, and also isolated because you don't want to ask for help. So you're left with your own head that's already not been positive in many ways. So when I spoke to you on Facebook, I could identify with where you were, and I think what you didn't have any idea that anyone would care about your situation, and I got that impression from you in our messages that we shared, that you kept saying, why do you want to help me? Why do you want to do this? And that's the sad part of what's happened to society as well, that people actually ask, why does anyone want to help me? I found that very sad, and it made me determined to prove to you that people do want to help you and do care about you. And when I put the crowdfunder out, I had no idea what the response would be, but when I think it's about 80 people have contributed to the crowdfunder, and that your monthly rent has been covered by that, as well as extra for some heating and food. But do you think I mean, the money and stuff is important, but would you say that it's the idea that actually people do look out for each other and do care about each other? Has that changed your outlook in any way?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've always been a strong believer in solidarity and helping others myself. It's and you know, and while I do ask sometimes why I was a bit shocked when you helped me as a complete stranger, I have had friends and family who went above and beyond for me. Um, Even people that I know only through Facebook. So, us as on the left, us as socialists, we live to help one another. I think that's what our entire ethos is. Um, Humanity comes first, and people come first, whether that's in emotional or physical well-being. And I genuinely do think that has helped quite a lot. The level of solidarity that I've been shown in this has absolutely shocked me. I wasn't expecting this kind of response, especially from people I've never met, I've never even spoken to. And I mean, yeah, 80 people, like you say, it's really changed my outlook on the situation. It gives me a bit of hope. And I think hope is a very important thing right now, especially in regards to my mental health. So, yeah.
I mean, can I just come in and say something? You know, I totally relate to how you feel a bit better, but obviously, this cold, the bills, the situation it's only it's only been fixed in a short term at the moment with this fundraiser. What do you think would help you most in the next few months?
Well, I went to see the housing advice team the other day, and I was told, and this is a direct quote from the lady that I spoke to. After she told me that I wouldn't qualify as a young man for emergency housing because of the amount of beds that they have in Scunthorpe, and I wouldn't qualify for temporary housing, she looked me in the eyes when I said, well, what am I supposed to do? And she actually said, as a young man, I would be better equipped to deal with homelessness than other people. And while true, in a way, it was the cruelty of it for someone in a position of care, someone in a position, housing advice team, who deals with homelessness issues every day, for a council to come out and say that to someone. I left there thinking, well, I've got no hope. If the people whose job it is to help me find accommodation aren't prepared to help, then who else is going to? And and thankfully, shortly afterwards, I looked at that fundraiser again, and I was blown away by the support. It really did. It showed me that people do care. But for that brief moment after that appointment, I was distraught. I didn't know what to do, and it was honestly, yeah. So it shocked me. So as for what we need going forward, complete reform in housing, for one, social housing, complete reform in mental health care, even just PIP and the disability assessments to give me a date, and so I can actually go and hopefully get that little bit of extra income that I'm entitled to, and according to my CPN and I require right now. At the present time, I can't go back to work with my mental health. I've recently had some surgery done as well, so it's just, yeah, there's just so much has changed, but it has to change on a societal level and a political level. We can't keep going forward saying, we're doing the little bits for one individual person here and one individual person there. It's like we can't save every person facing eviction with a crowdfunder. It's not possible. So we're very much, while we will always try our best to help others, it's not possible. Even food banks. I was talking to the food bank the other day when I got this parcel. They've went from doing 300 parcels this time last year in a month to expecting over 7,000 this month, within the space of a year. That's that's insane for a food bank primarily covering villages. It's just not right. And, you know, we need to be helping the people that are prepared to help more. And we need to be changing the systems that allow people to get into these situations in the first place. That's what would help the most.